Today we've got a guest that you might not have expected to see back on the channel. It's Nephisto, and he's here with some juicy drama. And you may recall that back in the day, he and I butted heads. We subsequently made amends, and since that time have collaborated on a couple of videos. So we're going to invite him into this video. We're going to interview him and talk about where he's been, what he's been up to, and about this latest drama, which does sound like it's going to be pretty exciting. So let's bring on Nephisto. Nephisto, how are you, man?
Hey, how are you, Chis?
Dude, it's been a minute since we last caught up. I think the Rise of Kingdoms and Call of Dragons community had been following along with your journey, but just to give us like a little bit of context so people understand like who you are and what sort of an impact you play in some of the mobile games that you do, could you just like walk us through some of the games you've been playing since you were in like Rise of Kingdoms and Call of Dragons, and like for perspective, right? Like you hit over 1 billion power in Rise of Kingdoms, right?
Yeah. And in Call of Dragons, I got to like 1.4 billion.
So casual. For perspective, chat, I'm 130 million in that range typically. Yeah. Okay. So after Call of Dragons, what game did you play next?
I went to Age of Empires. I also played Diablo. I think it was Diablo Online or something on the phone.
Immortal? Yeah.
And now I am in Last War Survival, which is quite interesting.
So now I've seen the ads for this game. This is where Homelander shows up and he's playing. And this is Anthony Starr. I don't know if you like The Boys. I friggin' love that show. But, you know, in the ads, he says that, big surprise, the game is actually like the ads. So let me ask, we all want to know, is the game actually like the ads or no?
No. But surprisingly, that's good. I think that there's a lot of games that are like that, just breaking up the barrels and things and basically shooting at barrels coming at you, and you have to move and decrease the count until you actually beat it. It is that there is a component of the game. It's very minimum. It's on Saturdays at the beginning of the game. That does have that, but the main event of the game, or the current the ambience of the game, is not that, right? Your everyday activities do not revolve around that.
Got it. So the mini game is there. So there is the element of truth to like, it's not a completely fictitious ad. But the main game is more exciting. So how does this kind of compare to some of the other games that you've been playing, and what are you liking about it? And even like, how long have you been in Last War Survival?
Well, let me check right here.
Get the days played from VIP.
You've logged in 107 days in a row.
Okay. So long enough to kind of understand the gist of the game. And like, what is the end game there? There's something like a KVK equivalent, right?
Yeah, there's always KVKs going back and forth. There's weeks that back-to-back KVKs. It's very similar to basically Call of Dragons. Call of Dragons, you get a season, and then you fight that whole season. Gates are opening and whatnot, and all this hype. And at the end, people make pacts, people break up. It seems like the war was ending very quickly, right? Here, the KVK mechanic is more diversified.
All right, so I'm curious here. Like, I've seen so many different types of KVKs. There's like season-based KVKs where you build into a map. There's like capital takeover style kingdom versus kingdom where you like invade a capital. I mean, are you building kind of territory in Last War Survival when you fight another kingdom, or is it more of a big structure battle?
So it's like every game at the beginning, right? You build your kingdom or domain, whatever. You start building them up. Everybody makes teams, small teams, alliances, and then you have like your first battle for who's going to be basically the dominant team in the server, right? And usually in these games, from that to a KVK, you have like months of wait. Here, you basically get the capital, and 3 weeks later, 2 weeks later, you're going into your first KVK. Um, so
You know,
it's you're taking you're not used to you're used to basically having like a long period of just building up. Here, it was like, okay, you got your capital. In 2 weeks, you're gonna start fighting. Another thing is that you're continuously fighting other people through. There's two types of arenas. There's one that's like your best formation arena, and then there's your best three formations against other teams. It rotates every day. You have contests against other servers, like it's called the VS. So you have to do different competitions, and through those competitions, right? It's called the alliance duel, and you have to do one day is raider training, another day is based expansion, another is age of science, another training heroes, mobilization, and buster, right? And at the end of the week, whoever has the most points out of that contest basically wins. And there's a diamond league, gold league, silver league. That also gives points to the KVK contest, which basically is also another type of contest, right? And you're competing on another way against other servers every day on top of what I just told you. And basically, you have to do. There's these bosses that pop in the middle of nowhere, and your alliance and your server has to do the most damage to it versus another server, and your top scorer gets more points. Top dueler gets points. There's these things called trains and supply trucks. You can attack them from other servers. You get 4 attacks a day,
so
uh,
if I'm
and that
understanding
gets you.
correctly, there's a ton of PvP. And this is not a new game. This is a game that's been out for a while, I think, right? Which is
It's
why
almost like a year, yeah.
yeah, okay,
Uh,
okay. Yeah. It's
and
funny
by the
like
way,
when I
just
think
to finish
back
this,
to
let
like
me
the
just finish
start
this
of
thought real
Rise of
quick.
Kingdoms and the start of, all these games, like yeah, they didn't have a KVK format yet. Like none. I feel like none of the games in this industry release with the end game. They just like release the game and hope that it's popular enough to be worth making an end game. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I think that again, just to finish something real quick, all that I just told you was just to get the rights to either invade another kingdom, or that kingdom, if they beat you, they get to invade you and you have to defend, which is
Oh,
another. It's a lot of adrenaline going through the week.
okay. So
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 what did
kingdom invasion is what's at stake.
yeah,
That's a big deal.
yeah, and if you can crown yourself the king of that other server, or if you defend and you successfully defend, you don't get anything. So,
Okay. So that to me feels similar to like Age of Empires mobile capital takeover as
yeah,
like the
it's some, yeah, yeah. Regarding what you just said about other games like launching and not have, and like they don't know what's going to happen in like next 60 days, and they just want to get their product out and cash in. I guess that this game probably had that at the beginning. I did not get here at the beginning, just like I did not get here at the beginning of Rise of Kingdoms, contrary to Age of Empires and Call of Dragons. Um, but I believe that the main difference between this game and those games is the way that the game is progressing. There's season one is a completely different topic, like completely different map. You actually 10 servers get thrown into one new map basically, and they can invade each other like every 2 days a week. There's the plague, and you have to get like poison immunity for everybody, and basically everybody's useless at the beginning of the season. So it gets the fun part about this is that it keeps you engaged all throughout the season, right? The main problem I have with most of these games, and I get everything, right? So um, in a sense, I'm never lacking anything that you need to have at any point in the game. Uh, yeah, I
right.
know.
Yeah.
So it keeps you really engaged with the game, and that's something I really have a difficulty. For example, in Rise of Kingdoms, there was a point I was like, why am I logging on? Right, like I'm logging on to talk to people and wait, and then I have to wait like 3 weeks, 4 weeks to fight somebody. uh, or wait till the next hero, do the roulette, and then it's over, right? Here, you're constantly engaged, right? And we haven't even started talking about betrayals and the packs and stuff like that. This game is like
Yeah.
crazy. Like it's crazy.
Well, maybe
Um,
that's what we should do is shift gears and get into the drama, bro. Because a part of the reason you had reached out to me is like, you wouldn't, Chisgule, you won't believe this drama in Last War Survival. I feel like I'm speaking the like title of the video now, which probably is what that's going to end up being. But like, so so you've got capital takeovers basically in this game, and you've got a big fight coming up. Yeah, some drama involved.
yeah. Well, uh, at the beginning of the servers, I usually do something very peculiar, right? I wait like 3 or 4 days and then I pop in power. And the reason I do that is I wait for people to spend a little bit because I feel like every time I play a game and I start, if I spend the first day, people are gonna run from the server. Uh, so
Jeez.
so
Okay.
I have developed this thing. It happened to me in Age of Empires. I had to switch servers. Most people don't know that, but I had to do it in Age of Empires because one server lost like a lot of people first day that just left. So the second server I selected at Age of Empires, I had to wait like 3 days too. I bought all the packs, but I didn't actually went into Alliance. Nobody knew what I was buying, and then I just used it the third or fourth day. Um, but I think that at the beginning of the servers, I'm very controversial. I like to spice. Let's just say I like the foreplay in that sense, and I get very antagonistic and I get very controversial, and I start poking people and I get my entertainment that way, and then obviously these people who are in your server, eventually the ones that stick it out and don't quit, become your friends, right? Yeah, it's inevitable. Has happened to me in basically every game. In this case, for example, in last war, two guys in the server with me, Roland and Binks. They were very vocal against me. Like they were sworn enemies. I would say even worse than Jason in Call of Duty and in Call of Dragon. Sorry.
Yeah,
Like
you guys had a big drama, right?
oh yeah, yeah. And in
I
the
don't know the
end,
details. We don't need to get into it
it's
now,
okay. We don't.
but
It's good because I get along. He's a good guy and we had good laughs. And at the end, that's why we play these games, right? It's about the laughter, good times, good memories, and obviously we all get our highs and lows from this shit. But I think that it was actually pretty funny how in Call of Dragons, and I'm sorry I'm switching games, but there's so much that's really related here. Uh, I think my team went to Jason's server. I don't even know what that happened, but they went to Jason, so it's crazy.
I mean, I think
Here in Last War, Roland and Colin basically. I mean, Roland Cole and Binks. We were in separate alliances until even recently, where the KVK started to get hard, and I was like, okay, it's time to mend fences and to start working as a team. And we did it about 2 weeks ago, like the formal unity. And some things went bad, and some things went well. But we three are synced, and it's become very, very bad for our enemies in other servers. Very, very bad. So bad that we basically have almost every server in our bracket, 10 servers up and 10 servers down against us. Uh, and and
okay,
and here's the
okay,
funny
wait,
thing, right? So when you're in a KVK, let's just say in Rise of Kingdoms, you know which servers you're fighting against, right? Or which
right,
server, right? So you're
yeah,
going against your enemy is 1126, for example, or server 6 or server 7, whatever. In Last War, right? People from like other servers that are not in your war can actually come and help your enemy or help you if they are
bro.
in
That
your
sounds like
versus in
so
your what
much
I was talking
drama.
about. Oh yeah. So in the last three capital wars that we had literally people from 6 or 7 servers come and smack us, and they still couldn't take us down. We lost one KVK versus 1134. We had like 3 servers intervene. But the last 2 Capital Wars, this is like the end of the preseason. We're still not even in season 1, just to give you perspective.
Okay.
And on this, not this is like the championship now. We're going into the preseason. Yeah, we won against 1127, and then we went against 1128, and we're in 1130. 1127 had, like, I don't know how many people come, like, and I mean not people, but whales, right? So imagine like your the top people from the next 10 servers down and up start coming and attacking you at the same time as you're
Oh,
trying
I
to
know what
get.
this is like, by the way. People may not remember, but like my first KVK and Rise of Kingdoms migration was like open in the middle of KVK. And one of the servers we were fighting put out like a global call to bring in people to come and fight us, which is like super lame, but super understandable that they did it because we had like entire kingdoms migrating to join us as well. And it just was like this insane arms race of migrating in players all throughout. It was nuts. I'm glad that that doesn't work that way anymore. But you can actually like help other servers in your bracket or hurt other servers in your bracket in this game. Like you can interfere.
Yeah, and I guess it's for me it's fun, right? For a lot of people it's not. I'm always gonna have somebody to kill, and so that keeps me obviously entertained. There's a server, it's called 1126, which is the one that we're going against. They're the winners of the other side of the bracket on the finals, and they've basically interfered with every one of our battles that they could have, basically to try not to let us get to the finals, right?
Doesn't
And
that mean that you could go interfere with them though? Like you go wreck them when they're trying to do stuff?
yeah, we tried last week. We got out of the last fight late, because other servers had intervened. It took a little bit longer, and we were going to help on our allies in 1125. But yeah, we did it to them. It's here. Contrary to Rise of Kingdoms and Call of Duty, you can ash somebody, like you can attack their base and actually basically bounce them off, and they have to teleport back. But you can do that very quickly, right? It's not like you have to. You can either rally, or you can. In my case, there's not a single person in probably like 40 servers up or down that can even take a hit from my main formation.
So
They
you
can't.
just solo hit people and teleport them out. That's kind of what happens.
Yeah, it takes like 10 attacks, and you basically teleport them out. You have to have 10 successful attacks basically. And yeah, you have 4 formations, so you can fight with 3, but you need to leave 1 at home, because if you don't, when they attack you, they immediately take damage from your wall. So you always have to have
Ah,
1 formation at home. You need to have 3 basic. You need to have 3 strong formations in my case, because I fight entire servers. Not I don't fight like an alliance or 3 whales. I fight last day on 27 versus 27, which was like 2 weeks ago. I was literally fighting like 43 whales. I counted 43 whales attacking me, rallying me, while I was holding the capital. So my main formation was out of the city. It was holding an entire server. Like, I'm not kidding you. 6 alliances were bombarded. If you see how this takes place, it's insane. It is. There's like 300 people heading to one location, and you're there. Uh, and you have to hold cannons as well, because there's 4 cannons around the capital, and if you are not holding them, they're shooting at the capital and killing troops there, and they disregard armor, tech, and if you're a whale or not, it doesn't matter. They'll kill troops uh, seamlessly.
bro,
So
I swear it's always like a main objective and 4 towers. Like in every one of these games, that's what it is.
I don't know.
So, look, this is all going down this Saturday. We're going to live stream it so people can see the action. So if you want to see Nephisto fighting this Saturday, you're going to want to subscribe, mark it on your calendar, lock in, because whatever this drama becomes, We're going to stream it on Saturday. And I think it's in the morning around 11 Eastern. I'll put the UTC time on screen for when it's going down. Any other thoughts you want to share about Last War? Or, you know, and I mean, you had such a big impact on the Rise of Kingdoms and Call of Dragons community. It's like, anything else you want to share with the folks you played with or against?
Oh yeah, 1126 and I. This is personal now, and I'm talking. Jason and my dilemma was tiny. 1126 is spicy. I mean, I like to take 100 people shitting on me and talking crap to me in chat, but these people have gone over. So it's gonna be interesting. There's gonna be a lot of drama for sure. But it hasn't stopped for 3 weeks. We literally the reason I'm contacting you is because I think that it's quite entertaining to see this. I've never seen so many because it's a server of whales, right? It's not like a normal server. It's a server of whales. People who spent over $50,000 in the first uh,
Jeez.
100 days. There's over 15 people who have done that. So you can imagine how these people are getting, tense. And my server is humble. They're good people. They're working for what they got, and yeah, I think regardless, it's gonna be fun. So I'm looking forward to it. And yeah, I still haven't seen Anthony Starr in the game, man. I'm just disappointed about that. I guess that's the only.
Anthony Starr, collectible hero. Let's go.
Yeah,
Let's
I gotta
make it
give me a
happen.
skin, man.
Okay, well, hey, if y'all enjoyed the video, throw a like on here. We'll be back on Saturday to stream this craziness. Thank you guys for popping on. I see Bink and Roland Cole also popped on the call while we were chatting here. Looking forward to chatting more with you guys coming up to this big event this Saturday. All right, subscribe. I'll see you there. And until next time, you have fun smashing your enemies. If you want to see me battling in KVK recently, I'll have a card off to the side over here. Whew. See you Saturday.